just get back to your regular scheduled program. I think people tend to get in this situation to where they become like unrealistic with themselves. They're like, oh, it's a cheat day. It's a cheat day. It's a cheat day. Oh, I can have it in moderation. Moderation is every day. Moderation is not every day. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sierra, and here on my channel, we are all about creating a life you love. So with that being said, we're gonna hop into today's video. So first things first, as you guys can tell, if you're not new around here, I have a little bit of a different background situation happening here. It's giving podcast. It's giving YouTuber. Like, I've just had a lot of stuff going on here lately in my life. First things first, shout out to y'all because y'all have gotten me to 1,000 subscribers. I just hit my 4,000 watch hours like a few days ago. So we're in the process of getting monetized right now. So that's super exciting. In addition to all of the YouTube wins, I actually also moved into my very first home. Me and my fiance bought it. So I actually do have a video up on my channel about, us buying our first home. You guys can kind of take a peek into our empty house tour. We're literally just in the space of we're trying to make this house a home. This house is way bigger than anything that we lived in together. Like it's a lot of house for us two little people. But anywho, that gives us time to, fill it up with the family and things like that. So it's super exciting. It's a new chapter for us and I'm excited. And I will love to bring you guys along on this journey with me, furnishing this home, decorating this home. Like, I'm super excited to do this. And like, you guys just don't even know. But anywho, let's go ahead and hop into today's video because your girl's a little bit behind on the weight loss content and y'all love the weight loss content. So I'm here to give it to you today. So today we're going to be talking about something that is super common when it comes to eating healthy or losing weight or on a fitness journey or trying to get your life together in a healthy way. This statement kind of irks me to no end. And this statement is very common. It probably goes back to the beginning of time. But this statement is eat in moderation. But it sounds so simple. Like, it literally sounds simple, but in reality, it's not as straightforward as it is. Like, it's just not. And today we're going to be diving into why eating in moderation is not realistic for everyone. So don't feel like super bad or super like defeated or challenged because you're like, wow, all these people do is eat in moderation and they get the body that they want and they just make it seem so easy. But eating in moderation is such a challenge for me. Like, I don't want you guys to feel bad about that because eating in moderation is a challenge for a lot of people. And honestly, like I said previously, it's just not realistic. So let's go ahead and talk like the challenges of eating in moderation. So let's be honest here. We're having an honest confession here today. Raise your hand if you've ever found yourself in a situation to where you're like, okay, I'm gonna have just a little piece of this. And then you find yourself creeping around like 12 a.m., 1 a.m., going in the refrigerator, having this thing you told yourself you were only going to have a little bit of. Like, I don't know about y'all, but like, I'm guilty AF of this, like so guilty. And I have no shame about it. Like, it's hard for me. And if you guys have not seen my last video on things that okay, and I actually have a video where I talked about this. I'll post it here, but I don't bring that kind of stuff into my house because I don't have the control to eat in this moderation like standpoint. And so for some people, food isn't just fuel. It's like comfort. It's celebration. It's even honestly like a coping mechanism for people who may be going through some sort of like challenging time emotionally. You're sad, you go eat. You're mad, you go eat. You're happy, you go eat. Like, there's so much emotion that is tied to food. And I think that kind of like complicates this moderation thing as well. This makes eating in moderation just hard, like from the jump. Like, there's no like getting around this. It's an extreme challenge for some people. And if you're a person who ever felt like guilty about not being able to stick to eating in moderation, I won't tell anybody. But drop this emoji down in the comments below so I can know who also kind of like deals with this. This is a safe space. We're here to help each other. Like if you have tips and tricks that help people like stay like up on top and on point of their moderation, like we would love to know this here in this community. So we're here to help each other. And if you have like mastered this, we want to know and we may need your help. So drop a comment down below, comment this emoji, and this is how we can, identify our besties that are challenged with the same things that we are. And it's okay. It's okay. So now we're going to talk about like why is just not realistic for everyone. Like some people can do it, but some people just cannot. And one of the biggest reasons is everyone has a different relationship with food. Like some people may grow up in an environment to where they're like extremely restricted around foods. And this honestly can trigger like deprivation, which leads to overeating. And we don't know people's like, traumas around like just life in general, but that sometimes can have an effect on the way we view food, have a relationship with food, the way we just do food in general. Next, let's hop into like food triggers. Sometimes we are just triggered by foods, and this is in a situation to where like the one bite rule doesn't apply. So you can't just have like one chip. You can't just have one ice cream. You can't just have one cupcake. You can't just have one slice of pizza. Like these are foods that may be triggering to you. And the thing about being triggered by foods is it activates the reward center in your brain. And that makes it like nearly impossible. Not nearly impossible, but it makes moderation feel like impossible. It just seems like you lose all control in those moments. And when I say like trigger foods, this can be some people like sweet foods, some people like salty foods. I am a salty food kind of girl. And this past weekend, one of John's friends was supposed to come over because they were coming back from the Houston game. So I bought like potato chips. And y'all, I just said in one of my last videos, like I don't bring junk food in my house because I know I have zero self-control. So I bought these potato chips for him and his friend. His friend didn't end up coming. His friend ended up going home a lot sooner. So guess what? Salty foods are a trigger to me. I ate way too many chips, and I'm not perfect. Just because I've lost weight does not mean that I still don't struggle. I am triggered by like salty foods, but like sweet foods, I'm not really into. I can have, just the serving and be okay because I don't know. They just don't do it for me. But I like salty foods. I like real food. I like food that is going to satiate me, and salty food just does it for me. But the one bite rule does not apply to chips for me. There is no way in God's green earth I can dig into a bag of salt and vinegar chips or barbecue chips and just have one chip. There's no way. Like I may think that I can do that, and then next thing you know it, like I've downed probably 3 servings of chips, which I am guilty of doing literally right before I turned on this camera for you guys. So don't ever think that we are perfect just because, we've lost weight or we've accomplished some goal. Like we still struggle just like everyone else. And moderation is one of those things where it's like really hard for me specifically. And then on top of all that, you have to factor in, your biological response when it comes to certain foods. This is usually like when you eat certain foods, like your body may react different. We have these hunger hormones that can kind of spike. And honestly, they seem to almost override all of your logical intentions to try to eat in moderation. And like I said, I'm a carby kind of girl. Like when I eat carbs, like I just lose it. And I'm not trying to make excuses. Like it literally feels like an out of body experience when I'm trying to restrict myself from something that I'm triggered by or I truly love or it truly just makes me feel good. So I don't want you guys to feel bad about that. But I would like you guys to simply know that, because there's so much information online to where people are talking about, oh my God, just eat in moderation. It's so simple. I go to Chick-fil-A this day. This is my meal from Chick-fil-A. Then I go to Starbucks and I do this. But that's not moderation. Like, and it may not look like moderation for you. Your moderation may look a little bit different. So that's the thing you kind of have to think about and kind of just bring to your brain when you're trying to really challenge yourself in this weight loss journey. So next, we're going to talk about the role society plays in this whole little situation. And trying to eat in moderation in social settings can be really hard. Like, you truly, truly, truly have to be strong or just straight up turned off from something to be in these situations and still say no. So this can look like social pressures from a friend or family. Like, have you ever gone to, like, you know, a big family event and you're like, oh no, I can't eat that. I'm trying to get in shape for my fucking wedding. Oh no, girl, one time's not gonna hurt you. You can have a little fun today. You never hear people just saying like, oh yes, girl, I wish I was strong like you. Stick to your diet, like be strong. Like, that's not the kind of stuff that you hear in society, usually from like family and friends. Sure, some people may have like super supportive circles around them, but in most situations, people are like, oh, just have it. We're having fun. Do it. Like, don't do it to yourself, guys. Try to hold it. Hold it. Just try. Another thing to think about is, like, even culturally, it can be rude if you're in a social situation and you don't take their food. You're like, they can look at you like, oh, she's too good that she can't eat our food or something like that. So culturally, it can be rude to say no to food. So, you know, the moderation thing kind of doesn't work in that situation. So I want to talk to you guys about some alternative approaches to moderation, because like I said, the word eating in moderation irks my soul because it's not realistic, like I said. So instead of being so strict or just trying to keep it like black and white, try to do a little thing that I like to do, and it's called mindful eating. And even with this mindful eating, you have to be super aware. And when I say mindful eating, I'm not saying like, oh, I mindfully want some potato chips. Oh, I mindfully want to go to Sonic and get a burger. I'm not saying that. I'm saying pay attention to how food makes you feel. And then knowing how these foods make you feel, you can start to get in tune with your body and realize like, okay, I'm satisfied. I'm full. Like, instead of like overdoing it, and the more you practice like this mindful eating, the whole moderation thing may come a little bit easier to you. Another tip that I have for you guys is to plan for your triggers. I said this in the last video. I'm going to say it in this video. I do not bring junk food into my house because I cannot control myself. So in a situation to where I say plan for your triggers, I have set my life up to where I am okay with having, you know, junk food outside of my house. I just told y'all I ate so many chips before turning on this camera. But the thing is, like, I usually would not bring those into my house for me, but I brought them for John and his friend, but friend didn't come. So now we have these extra chips. So I ate them. But instead of doing that on the regular, I just don't bring them here. If I want chips, I'll go get a bag of chips, a serving of chips when I'm out and about. I do not bring that kind of stuff into my house unless I have a healthy alternative. So if I have like, you know, I like these one chips. It's like air popped popcorn that's like shaped like a tortilla chip. It's good. I'll put it on the screen. I promise y'all it's good. They have a white cheddar and then they have like a kettle corn one, but it's like a Dorito-ish kind of thing, but it's made from popcorn. It's light, it's airy, it's supposed to be your healthier option. So stuff like that. I'll bring stuff like that into my home. Another thing that I had to learn about myself is when you get like the big bag that has multiple servings, like, you know, you get this family size bag of chips and it's like, oh, this bag of serving has this bag has 18 servings of chips in here. And instead of me eating out of this one bag that has 18 servings of chips, I like to buy individually packaged stuff if I'm going to have like some sort of like snack food in the house, because that shows me Okay, Sierra, this is one serving and not me just mindlessly eating and eating and eating until I feel stuffed. So control and plan for your triggers. If you can create boundaries and rules or just make your life easier, because if you're triggered, it's not going to be easy to do in the situation. So plan ahead of time, like figure out, what works for you. Like I said, I just don't bring the junk food in my house. And that may be, a solution for you as well, because you can have it outside of the house, because usually outside of the house, it's like, okay, you get your fix and then you go home. Like, I mean, I'm the person to where like it'll have to be it'll be so inconvenient for me to always go act impulsively on a trigger. But I know it may not be like that for other people, because you can easily DoorDash stuff, but I'm not about to do all that. I would have to literally get up out my bed, drive to a Baskin Robbins, drive to a Sonic to, get some French fries or to get a milkshake or something like that. And that is just inconvenient for me. So instead, I just don't have it in the house. And if I really, really want it, I have to go to lengths and measures to actually get it. So that is how I plan for my triggers. Let me know if you guys down below, how do you guys plan for your triggers? I know I can't be the only person who does this crazy weird stuff. So I want to know what you guys do that kind of help you with your trigger foods. And then last but certainly not least, I want you guys to start to reframe your mindset around food. Like focus on balance over like these moderation rules, because moderation, like what does that mean? But focusing on, balance. Like I said, okay, on Saturday, we can have like, pizza, or on Saturday, I work out a little bit more because we tend to have fun on the weekends. Or even if I have pizza during the week for lunch, I can still have, a stir fry for dinner, or I just make sure I'm still drinking my water if I had like alcohol or something like that. So think about balance. Like if you can still enjoy the things that you want, like, okay, that doesn't have to be every single day. But the thing is, just get back to your regular scheduled program. I think people tend to get in the situation to where they become like unrealistic with themselves. They're like, oh, it's a cheat day. It's a cheat day. It's a cheat day. Oh, I can have it in moderation. Moderation is every day. Moderation is not every day. So find the balance and find out what works for you. So, okay, I want to have Buffalo Wild Wings on Tuesday. Okay, that's fine, but you can still eat a healthy breakfast, healthy lunch, and then go to Buffalo Wild Wings and have your dinner. Like it does not have to be a miserable life. I just say it can't be every single meal that you want. Like you have to find, the balance, be able to stick to the plan, even if you find yourself veering off here and there, because at the end of the day, you don't want to like go your whole life and feeling like you're deprived. But if you have balance, you just get back to your regular scheduled program after you have your fun. And I think that is the best way to do it, because if you become so rigid and restricted, like you're going to end up binging or losing your mind. And I say this from experience because I've been there, done that, and still will do it if I'm being too strict on myself. So simply find, the balance. As women, we want different things at different parts of our cycles. I know you guys want a cycle syncing video, so I'm going to make sure I get that up for you guys very soon. I was just trying to figure out how I wanted to align that kind of content, but TMI, but I'm on my period today. So I think I'm going to do a like what I eat in a day sometime this week, so I can align the videos with myself and my own cycle, so you guys can get a realistic picture of what do I eat? How am I working out? How am I looking inward? What else am I doing? How am I being productive during this time? And how does it actually benefit me to cycle sync? But that's a whole like topic in itself. But like I said, reframe your mindset, figure out your balance. Like don't go too off on the deep end. Just be like, okay, I had my fun. Time to get back to my regular scheduled program. I didn't work out today, so let me go work out tomorrow. Or like just don't get too extra regulated with it. Don't get too happy with it to where you're like, oh, it's moderation every day. Like find your perfect balance, find what works for you. And at this point, I am rambling, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. But like I said, let us know down in the comments below, if you're a person who challenges with this moderation thing, because like I said, I'm guilty of it. If you're a person who has moderation down to a pact of science and you have all these tips and tricks for us, let us know in the comments below, because like I said, I struggle with it too. So I'm always down for, some effective like best practices and tips and tricks. So like I said, we are a family over here. We are a community, and we are trying to get in shape. We are trying to be healthy and have, supportive people around us. So if you know some stuff, let us know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye. She making that shake, breaking that back till her back break.